Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Saturday morning Storytime and Craft. I'm Mr. Kelvin, and good to see you again this month. Now, what we're going to be reading today is a book that I've read in person before. I haven't read online. I'm happy that I'll be able to share it with you. This book is called Mina. This book is by Matthew Forsyth. This man is a very good illustrator and a very good storyteller. So I'm happy to share this. I don't have any special lesson learned and stuff like that, or things to think about too much before we read the story. I'm gonna be honest with you, this one's just a good story. So let's get into it, shall we? Okay. Alright. Mina. See, Mina is a little mouse. A little book here. Now, Mina lived in her own little world, where nothing ever bothered her, except for one thing. Now, it wasn't her father who was always bringing home surprises from the outside world. No, of course not. And it wasn't the tin can he found that made his jokes even louder. And it wasn't the collection of antique art that he thought would make them rich. Not even that. Those stamps. And it wasn't even the band of musicians he met in the woods. She barely noticed any of those things. Mina's all cozy up there, reading a book. Dad's playing a band, but she is minding her own business. But one day, her father came home and said, "Mina, come outside. I have a really big surprise for you." And that's when she started to worry. "It's a squirrel," he said. "I don't think that's a squirrel," said Mina. "What do you think? You think that's a squirrel?" "Of course it is. Squirrels are bigger than mice and have long, bushy tails." "I don't know," said Mina. It's a strange-looking squirrel. That night, Mina couldn't sleep. "There's nothing to worry about," said her father. "Hey, remember the time I brought home those stick insects and you taught them to read? That was so much fun." "They stole all my books," said Mina. "They got you more books." Oh, there he goes with the books. The stick was running away. "Now, go to sleep. Everything will be fine. You'll see." "I don't know," said Mina. But sure enough, everything was fine. Look, the cat is just hanging out. Oh, sorry. The squirrel is just hanging out with the mice. For a little while. Until one day, Mina's father said, "He's not eating. Something's wrong. Do you think he's lonely?" "Perhaps," said Mina, "but whatever you do, don't bring home any more surprises." But the next day, he brought home 2 more surprises. Oh my goodness. But they wouldn't eat either. So Mina's father called the doctor, who came right away. I didn't even realize he's calling the doctor with a cup on a string. I'm done. "I'm sure there's nothing to worry about," said the doctor, "but let's take a look at these squirrels." "Oh, I see the problem," said the doctor. "The problem is that these squirrels are definitely cats." "Oh no," said Mina's father. "Oh dear," said Mina. And then all at once, the cats chased Mina and her father and the doctor into the woods. And over the pond. "Run, Mina, run!" And up a tree, when finally Mina said, "Stop! We shared our home with you, our food, our toothpaste, and this is how you repay us? By trying to eat us?" "Yes," said the cats. and they were about to eat the mice when the strangest thing happened. The stick insect walked slowly into the parade, and she licked her finger and opened a book and started reading out loud with a deep, charismatic voice, like mine, which is how all stick insects sound. And the cat slowly, fell asleep. And quietly, Mina and her father and the doctor stole away. That means they snuck away. "See, I told you everything would be fine," whispered Mina's father. And even though she rolled her little eyes, Mina had to admit that for once, he was right. And that is the end of our story of Mina by Matthew Forsythe. If you haven't heard that story before, I hope you enjoyed it. And if you had before, I hope you enjoyed it again. So, for our craft today, what we're going to do is we are going to make our very own Mina, right? So, I should have given you all some watercolors or some markers, and we're going to go ahead and make ourselves our own Mina. So, I'll see you soon.
Alright everyone, now for our craft portion, we're going to learn how to draw our very own Mina. So, inside the kit, we should have a white piece of paper. We should also have a reference sheet, so I know you're watching me draw it so you can learn how to, but just in case. Then we have a set of crayons, 6 or 7 of them. And we'll also have a pencil if you want to sketch Mina before you actually do the crayon. So, let's get started. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start with the ears. So kind of start on the left side of Mina's head. So it's like you're going to make your own little heart, and right before you close the heart, you're actually going to start making a little bit of a triangle that goes to the right, like so. Then you're going to close the heart and the triangle, and then that should be Mina's head, like so. The next thing we're going to do is a small rectangle underneath our heart triangle, underneath Mina's head. Then we'll do the arms, which are also small rectangles. The right arm has a little bit of a curve because that is the arm that we're going to be using to do the umbrella. After that, we'll make some pants, yes, which are just 2 rectangles connected to each other. With this little triangle in the middle there. Then we'll do the hands, which are just small semicircles. And the feet are also small semicircles. And just like that, you have your little Mina. Now, we should probably do an eye, so you can use the same color crayon that you used before, or you can use a different one. You don't have to do exactly what I'm doing. You can do whatever color Mina you want. Color the eye. There you are. Okay. Now, one of you might see that the crayons leave a little bit of residue, but that's okay. It's okay. You can give yourself some grace here. The crayon is going to do what it's going to do. Now we're going to start on the umbrella. So start at that little curved arm with the hand, and we're going to start going up and up and up and up right above Mina's ears and just a little bit more. Then once you get to a certain spot, then we'll start making the umbrella, which looks like flower petals. So our flower petals, they're kind of like ovals. And we'll start with one at a little bit of an angle like so. Then we'll work on the second one. It'll be to the left. It's like you're connecting the ovals together. Then we'll do another one to the left. You can have a little bit of a curve at the end of it to make it look more like an umbrella or make it a little more like a flower. And there you have one on the right. There you go. And that's really it. Look, you've done your very own Mina. Now, however you want to color Mina, you can do however you want. You can have your own t-shirt, but I'm going to try to do it like the classic way. I'm going to try to get the lines and making sure, like, to darken up the lines to make it like very similar to the book cover. I'm going to do the lines on the sleeve. Then I'll use a different color when I'm going to be filling in for the pants, like so. Make sure it's nice and secure. You don't have to fill all in the lines. You can do whatever you'd like. Then after that, start heading up and filling out for the umbrella. Now each of the petals can be their own color, and you can blend colors. So try using 2 different crayons to color each of the petals. If you look at the cover of Mina, there are multiple colors instead of just like one solid color, even in Mina herself. So experiment. Crayons are pretty good for blending. But even if you don't decide to blend, it'll still look beautiful because it is your artwork. So I'm going to do the green on the left side and combine the green with a little bit of blue. That's actually my favorite color combination, green and blue together. Like so. And then for the opposite side, I'll do blue and I will blend it with green. So the blue comes first this time instead of the green. Oh, I did a little bit of purple instead. I thought I did green, but that's okay. Yes, we add the blue and the purple. And then we have it. We have our colored Mina. You can also add a little bit of shading too. Oh yes, and of course Mina has a tail. Yes, don't forget to draw Mina's tail. But if you look closely on the cover, Mina is standing on one of those squirrels that we saw in the book. So after you're done, or maybe even before you draw your Mina, you can always do Mina standing on the cat, like so. Or I'm sorry, the squirrel. I'm going to add some eyes to have the cat looking up. And I'll color it in. But that's our Mina. Now, if you want, you can feel free to share it at the email that I sent in the email. But you did a very, very good job. If you want to add like a sun, you can feel free to do that. Or a moon, you can do that. Or whatever you want to add to the background. But there's your Mina. You did a very good job, and I will see you next month. All right now.